Bit of a weekly wrap for you, just a raw, unscripted update on what happened this week. If you don't know me, my name's Alex and I run a couple of businesses. One in particular for this video is called Render Studio. We make it easy for property developers to get 3D renders without headaches, without the drama, and with all the quality. Pitch aside, this week and this year really we've been ramping up in terms of the amount of customers that we're serving. Actually, interestingly, I'll make another video, but 2023, we probably said yes to about 85% of the jobs that came across our desk. It was scrappy, it was growth, it was learning centric, and really we just took on everything. Still confined to really the townhouse development industry, but we took on all sorts of jobs, budgets, criterias, requests, and the lot. And we learn a lot about what red flags are for our customers, for ourselves, who we would like to work with, and definitely who we would not like to work with. And that's a mix of like the type of developer that maybe isn't a good fit for us, but also it's like the stage of a project. Anything pre-consent or lodging or conceptual is just not, it is not our cup of tea, and it doesn't work well for our efficient workflow. That aside, coming into 2024, we've probably said no and received more no's than ever before. And that's because we've lifted our bar. We're obviously increasingly lifting our quality in terms of the value that we're proposing and the renders that we're delivering. But also there are a lot of red flags we identified last year in projects and developers that, aren't a good fit for us. It's not like we found logos and said we don't work with these guys. It was more criteria that enables us to serve our clients in the best way. In saying that, we've continued to grow, which is really awesome. Working with higher quality clients, higher quality projects, and in turn, being able to provide a higher value service and be compensated for that, which has been really exciting. A lot of things have been streamlining. My wife has come on. She was really working in the shadows and running a lot of the business pre this, but now she is working in the business during the day, which is significant. Week on week, she takes more and more of my role. So my role's been depleting down to kind of doing content, sitting on Instagram and LinkedIn and posting and hitting our email list and filming some new ads and doing some networking, and kind of, all of the operational side have been taken away from me, which has been great, but it's left me thinking, what next? I'm not really a content guru or have any interest in just being a social media manager. And so the idea and the prospect of going to a new market, of expanding, of taking what we've got, a well-engineered, well-executed engine really of delivering renders, and exploring the other markets. Now, I've thought about this for over a year, but I didn't want to sort of prematurely go to another market before our business was ready. This year, Render Studio is ready. We take on jobs, we deliver them, we get feedback on how we delivered them, we tell people how that happens, and then we get more work and the cycle goes on. So I was sort of thinking, well, if the opportunity arises, we should go to a new market. And essentially what happened is we hired a new artist who is based in the Gold Coast, working in contractually to us, project to project basis. And that kind of already started to make my thinking bigger, started to think wider and in terms of what's possible. And that was really exciting. Then a couple of things happened in the city of Melbourne where some interest came our way. I realized that I have a friend in sales there, so there's a potential prospect there. I then found that I have connections in the content creation space parallel to the real estate industry, so videographers and photographers who serve property developers all in Melbourne, right? And so it kind of felt it's time to expand into a new market where we can start to explore what it looks like for us to serve abroad. And instead of going to Australia as a whole, so that's a massive market, Melbourne's development market alone is larger than New Zealand's entire townhouse development. So just going to Melbourne gives us the ability to niche and stay niche and brand well, communicating all of our messaging, all of our touch points and creative to Melbourne to make it personal. Much like what we've done here with Kiwi property developers, we can now go over and do it there, and it'll have more punch going to a narrow market than all of Australia. Going to Melbourne has been exciting. We announced this week, and already I literally do not know, apart from posting, announcing, and telling a few friends, LinkedIn's algorithm or the algorithm of the internet has obviously heard our announcement, and we've received 2 leads from Australia just this week since announcing. We're talking days. Really exciting, kind of feels like a confirming that that's the right place to go. And all the buzz and all the talk from friends congratulating us on the expansion, but also the leads coming in and kind of some other things, it means it's time to go. Couple of learnings. Biggest learning has been, it is very good to know what you're good at and what you're not. Earlier in the year we did our strength tests, and it's about really doubling down on what you're good at and finding others who are better at what you're not good at to carry that boat, #carry the boats, with you. And so the more that I've offloaded roles that aren't in my clear lane of genius, feels weird to call yourself a genius, I've been systemizing or delegating, automating, or eliminating to essentially put myself in strategy, in brand, in growth mindset seat. That has enabled us to even consider going to Oz. And it's a very exciting thing. So I just know strength to strength, if I can focus on what I'm good at and release others to carry the rest and do what they're good at, then Render Studio is going to continue to grow. So a bit of a long-winded one, that's 6.5 minutes. It'll probably be 7 by the time I say stop. But the key learnings are run in your strengths, identify them, equip yourself for them, research them, and then just start practicing them. Put it out there. The second learning is think bigger. Countless conversations this year, especially with Scott, have been about the fact that we Kiwis, we think small. And it's great relationally, and even in terms of some innovation, we think of quirky solutions, but thinking bigger, grand scale, wider markets, bigger impact. I can see why Stanley Henry, I can see why you were going to New York. It's because thinking bigger, actually, it's not just about going out, but it's about taking what you've got out there back home. And already after launching in Melbourne and seeing the prospect there, it's made me think bigger about New Zealand and the Kiwi property developers we're serving here. So great week, big week, and very pumped for what is to come. If you enjoyed these, if you want to hear more about Render Studio, how I'm building this business, expanding it, or some of the learnings, let me know in the bottom in the comments. It'd be awesome to hear if these are valuable. Whether you do or not, I'm going to keep ranting. So have a great weekend.